What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a DMX controller to your Motion Strip motorized moving headlight bar. Now if you wanted to have control over multiple lights at once, you can always set up a DMX controller. So for the setup, I'm going to start with one DMX cable. I'm going to take the male end and plug it into the DMX out on my controller. Then I'm going to take the other end and plug it into the DMX in on my first light. And now to connect my first light to the second light, I'm going to grab another DMX cable, plug the male end into the DMX out on my first light, then take the other end and plug it into the DMX in on my next light. And if you wanted to set up even more lights, you're just going to repeat this process all the way down the chain. So now we need to set the lights to the same DMX channel mode, which will determine how much control we have over our lights with the controller. So we can pick between the 9-channel DMX mode or the 38-channel DMX mode. Using either of these is completely dependent on your needs or how much control you want to have over your lights. For example, the 9-channel mode gives us the basic functions of the pan and speed, the built-in auto effects and the speed for the effects, the master dimmer and the controls over the red, green, blue, and white LEDs. While the 38-channel mode gives us control over those functions, along with the color options for each bulb, even greater control over the auto effects, and much more. So to start, we're going to set the DMX address on both lights in the 9 DMX mode, and set them both to 001. Next on our controller, we're going to activate scanner 1, and now we can go through all of the different faders and see what they do for our lights. Starting with fader 1, this controls the pan or the angle of the light, so the more I raise it, the more the lights will angle. Next we have fader 2, which controls how fast the lights will pan. So when we have this all the way down, the lights will pan pretty quickly. And if we raise fader 2 a little bit and pan our lights, you'll notice that they do a little slower. Next we have fader 3, where we can set the lights to the auto effect mode, and depending on where I leave fader 3 determines which auto effect comes on. Then we can use fader 4 to control the speed of the effects. So the more I raise fader 4, the faster the effects will go through. Next we have fader 5 that acts as our master dimmer, or how bright the LEDs come through. So for now I'm going to raise that all the way up. Next to that we have fader 6, which controls the red LEDs, so the more I raise that, the more you'll see the red coming through. Then we have fader 7 that controls the green LEDs, fader 8 that controls the blue LEDs, and fader 9 to control the white LEDs. So now we're going to set the lights to the 38-channel mode so we have even more control. So in 38-channel mode, fader 1 still acts as our pan control, fader 2 still acts as the pan speed, we can still use fader 3 to set the lights to an auto effect, and fader 4 to control the speed of the effect. Fader 5 will still act as our master dimmer, and now from fader 6 on is where it gets a little different. Fader 6 acts as a strobe mode when we have the other bulbs engaged, and next we have fader 7 to control the red LEDs coming out of the first bulb only. So I can raise fader 7 and then you'll see the red LED start to come out of the first bulb, and like I said, we can use fader 6 to activate the strobe mode. Next we have fader 8 to control the green LEDs coming out of the first bulb. Then we have fader 9 to control the blue LEDs coming out of the first bulb. Then we have fader 10 to control the white LEDs coming out of the first bulb. And next we have fader 11, which will control the red LEDs coming out of the second bulb. So this is really cool because this allows me to make custom colors for each bulb and set the color for each bulb to a different color. So I can raise faders 7 through 10 to activate all of the colors for my first bulb, and raise fader 11 to set the second bulb to red only. So then we have faders 12, 13, and 14 to control the green, blue, and white LEDs for our second bulb. Then we have fader 15 to control the red LED for the third bulb, and fader 16 to control the green LED for the third bulb. Now if you're using a standard DMX controller with 16 faders only, you can actually set up the next set of controls by unclicking scanner 1, lower the faders you had up previously, activate scanner 2, and from here we can go through the next set of controls. So now if I raise fader 1, you'll see that it picked up where it left off with the blue LED coming out of the third bulb. Now something to keep in mind before you go to activate scanner 2 for your next set of controls, while you still have scanner 1 activated, you'll want to set the brightness with fader 5, and which position you want to have your light in with fader 1, and as soon as you turn off scanner 1, your lights are going to remember these settings so you can move on to scanner 2. This way I can control the brightness of each bulb still, while keeping the light in the same position. This will also be the case if you have bulbs 1 to 3 set to a certain color. So now I have scanner 2 activated to control faders 17 through 32. So from here I can use the faders to set any color I want for bulbs 3 to 7. And now to activate faders 33 to 38, I can turn off scanner 2, activate scanner 3, and use the remaining faders for bulbs 7 and 8. And keep in mind you can jump between each scanner to make adjustments on each fader. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up a DMX controller to your Motion Strip motorized moving headlight bar. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.